Well, welcome back. I wanted to congratulate the people on this screen for working. It's been great to check in and see that so many of you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. I can tell that some of you are doing different things. The first column on this side are the people who did the quizzes on Monday. So, and I know some of you did it on paper instead of doing the quizzes. Remember that I'm going to try to give you those quizzes or Kahoots for you to do uh, instead of something on paper, because I know you don't have your books. You probably will need a piece of blank paper in front of you to write down problems and see how it goes. And then I've got a whole bunch of you that have just been working on Math 180 on your own, which I think is fantastic. So it was great to see all of you have some time this week. I checked on Thursday about 1 o'clock, so more of you may even get on. But as I was making this, I wanted to make sure that I let you know. So our lesson last time was on identifying fractions equal to a half and how to make fractions equal a half. And so we're going to go over those answers today. If you need any help, please email me, contact me, and we'll find a time when we can get together on WebEx. If you would just like to have a WebEx time where we all get together and chat, let me know and we'll try to set something up. I know a lot of your other teachers are doing that. You may not have time, but please just simply send me an email and we will chat. So let's take a look at some of the first ones. All right. So some of the questions you had were, how many 14ths would it take to make half? We have the denominator. We want the numerator. So you would take the denominator and divide it by 2. The numerator would be 7. 7 is half of 14. For 1/2 is how many 18ths? We've got the denominator. We want the numerator. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Our numerator would be 9. For the next one, or one of the ones you had to do, 1/2 is how many 38ths? Now this one gets a little bit more complicated. You might have to do 38 divided by 2. You could make 10 groups. That's 20. You've got 18 left. That's 9 more groups. That's exactly 18. So we know that 19 would be our numerator. So 19 38ths is the same as a half. For the next one, we've got a denominator of 30, needing to find the numerator. To go from a denominator to a numerator, we need to divide by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. If that's not a fact you know, you can go back to those division skills that you have. I could make 10 groups, that's 20. I could make 5 groups, that's 10. And it comes out to 15. Finally here, we've got 20 of what size piece would equal a half? To go from the numerator to the denominator, we need to multiply by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add the 0. 20/40ths would be the same as half. The same on the next one. We know the numerator. We're trying to figure out the denominator. Numerator, to move to the denominator, we need to multiply by 2. 50 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And add the 0. 50 hundredths is a half. Same thing as 50 cents is half a dollar. 0.5 is half, all that. All right, last few. What would the numerator be in order to equal half? To go from the denominator to the numerator, we do 36 divided by 2. That'll give us the numerator. 36 divided by 2, I know, is 18. If you don't know, 36 divided by 2, we can make 10 groups, leaving me with 16. I can make 8 more groups, and 16 minus 16 is 0. So 18 would be the numerator here. These get into larger numbers, but the same skills apply. Using the numerator to find the denominator, you would multiply by 2. 250 times 2 is 500, would give us that new denominator. If that was a little tricky, remember your distributive property. We could take 200 plus 50 times 2. 200 times 2 is 400. 2 times 50 is 100. And 400 plus 100 is 500. So this is kind of a good review of some of the other skills that you've done. All right, let's move it down again. Looking for the numerators in both of these, we would need to take the denominator here and divide it by 2. Again, may not be something that you know off the top of your head. I can make 100 groups of 2, leaving me with 50. I could make 20 groups of 2. And now I've got 10. I could make 5 groups of 2. And 10 minus 10 is 0. When I add those, I know that 125 would be the numerator. 125. Finally, no, not finally, we got a couple more. 40 is a denominator, trying to get to the numerator. We do 40 divided by 2. 20, half of 40 is 20. So 20 is the numerator. And then finally here, 1/2 is 8 of what size piece? If we start with the numerator and try to get to the denominator, we need to take 8 times 2. I already wrote that down. 8 times 2 is 16. So our new denominator would be 16. If you're not catching on, please, please, please let me know. I would love to be able to help you. So for the rest of your time for Math Workshop today, I'd like to see you put in some time on Math 180. 15 minutes on the zones, 5 minutes on the Brain Arcade. Remember, the more you do, the more skills you're going to learn. Thanks for tuning in again today, and I hope that I can watch your progress on Math 180. Take care.